right to life of a living, distinct child. That balance is what we've debated. That balance is what we've worked so hard to strike, and it's something that I'm proud of, as I know Governor Kemp and others are proud of today. And we finally have this day. We can sign that into law and begin the process of recognizing both the interest of women who find themselves in difficult circumstances and the fundamental basic right to life of the children they carry. So with that, I'd like to thank you for being here. And there's a lot of folks that want to speak today. I'd like to recognize to speak next somebody who really needs no introduction. I say that the work we did as legislators was made available by those great leaders who went and shaped the environment and went around us and provided some blocks and some leadership. And the first person I'd like to thank, the first leader alongside of us that helped us get this bill passed and move this balanced, thoughtful proposition forward, is our Speaker of the House, David Ralston. Speaker Ralston.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chairman Setzler, and good morning. I'm honored to be here to stand with Governor Kemp and Lieutenant Governor Duncan to once again reaffirm Georgia's commitment to the sanctity of life. At its core, House Bill 481, appropriately known as the Life Act, is about protecting those who truly cannot protect themselves. I realize this is a contentious issue, one with strong emotions on both sides, and I want to applaud all those who participated in this debate respectfully. I particularly want to thank Chairman Ed Setzler for the manner in which he carried this legislation. Chairman Setzler always kept the policy front and center. He did not dwell on politics, and he did not demonize those who disagreed with his point of view. As is true to his character, he worked tirelessly with the sole objective of arriving at the best policy for this state and its citizens. I am proud to call Ed Setzler my friend, and I want to thank him for how he represented our House on this issue. Chairman Setzler had a strong team of supporters in his corner, from advocates like the Georgia Life Alliance and the Faith and Freedom Coalition to other members of the House, many of whom worked and prayed alongside him. But as I close, I'd like to acknowledge and thank the strongest supporter of this legislation, our Governor, Brian Kemp. Right. Governor Kemp is a leader whose compass does not bend with the polls or pundits. He was clear from the beginning that making Georgia a leader in protecting life was an important and top priority. Governor, thank you for your leadership, and I am honored to serve with you. Thank you very much. I have the honor of introducing now the Chairman of the Senate Science and Technology Committee, Chairman Renee Unterman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my colleagues that are here with me today. Thank you very much. I have spent a lifetime on a journey as a former nurse and a former social worker in the business of saving lives. I've spent that whole time as a legislator waiting to get to today, and it is very, very emotional. I would like to thank the birth mothers that gave me my children, Zach and Rachel Unterman, for having the courage to do something that very few people can do. When this bill first came up, the governor and the lieutenant governor had confidence in my courage and my tenacity, and I stood on their shoulders the whole way. It wasn't for one day, but it was for the total session. And I want to thank them for having that confidence in me to be able to carry a bill that has been the culmination of my political career. I believe in life, and have believed in life from the very beginning. And that's what's given me the courage to persevere. I want to thank my Senate Republican caucus, who has stood by me every step of the way, giving me that courage, giving me that support, and saying that they knew that all of us were going to do a good job and we were going to cross the finish line. Mm-hmm. So, Governor, thank you very much. The Lieutenant Governor, who is my leader, thank you for having confidence in me. It is very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here for just millions of reasons. It is an honor to be here. I want to thank so many people, and Senator Underman, thank you for your courage. Thank you for the ability to just shepherd such a difficult issue across the finish line, but to do it the way you did it. And I also want to compliment Representative Setzler for your process also in being willing to take this on as a non-political issue. And I want to applaud both of y'all for this. This is a personal issue for everybody. Whether you're in favor of this legislation or you're not, this is a personal issue for every single person. And I respect that, and I'm proud of the legislature and the way that they have respected that. I'm proud of my Senate members that have taken this on, even those that were very opposed to this measure. The debate we had in the Senate was one I was proud of. It was very deliberative. It was very intense, but it was very respectful. And I want to thank each and every member of the Senate to get us there. I want to thank the House and the Speaker for bringing this legislation over to us. And once again, I want to thank Governor Kemp for your leadership on this, and once again making this about a policy and not a politics decision. My wife and I here, this is my wife Brooke, she's with us. You know, we're not here because we support this legislation because we read it in a political playbook that says it makes sense. We're here because of 3 examples of life that showed up in our lives. And there are 3 boys, Parker, Baylor, and Ryder. That's why we support this legislation. We have seen the miracle of life. We have seen the abundance of life. And I'm so grateful for this process. I'm so grateful for this legislature and this governor who's allowed us to do, I believe, something that is absolutely special that we will remember for a lifetime. Thank you. I'd like to bring our good friend Catherine Davis up to make a few comments.
Thank you. This is a historic day for Georgia. This is a day that many of us who have been in the pro-life fight for years and years and years didn't really think it would be possible in light of the politics of the issue. But I am so terrifically honored to stand here today with Ed Setzler, Georgia's Wilberforce. Yeah. With Governor Kemp, who has the courage that governors before him didn't have. Governors before him talked about using pickaxes to keep a class of people suppressed. But this governor is standing, restoring somewhat protection for a class of people who had the protection stripped from them in Roe v. Wade. Just like Plessy versus Ferguson stripped away protection from a class of people, just like Dred Scott decision stripped away protection from a class of people, so did Roe v. Wade, and began to define a class of people as objects to be gotten rid of. And some in the industry of abortion have used it to particularly target melanin-rich people like me. But this governor is willing to begin the process of restoring rights and protection to the most vulnerable among us. And I am esteemed and honored to stand with these men and this woman right here, who year after year after year led the fight for life. I am honored to stand here today in Thanksgiving, and I welcome you to join me in thanking Ed Setzler, Renee Unterman, Governor Kemp. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is my honor and privilege to introduce the next young lady who, according to the abortion industry, shouldn't be with us today. She is someone who the doctors said that she was incompatible with life, and they encouraged her mother to kill her. 3 different doctors said she's incompatible. But Rachel Guy is with us today, and I'm honored to introduce her.
I thank God for Governor Kemp. I thank God for Representative Setzler. I thank God for Senator Unterman. I thank God for this day, for a day that every day I fight and I pray that abortion ends, but I truly never thought that we would see a day like this. And I thank God for a governor who stands up for the most vulnerable citizens in our state. So thank you. And I would love to introduce Governor Kemp.
Thank you all so much for being here with us this morning. As you all know, Georgia is a state that values life. We protect the innocent. We champion the vulnerable. We stand up and speak for those who are unable to speak for themselves. The Life Act is very simple, but also very powerful. A declaration that all life has value, that all life matters, and that all life is worthy of protection. I understand, like the others have said, that some oppose this legislation. I realize that some may challenge it in the court of law. But our job is to do what is right, not what is easy. We are called to be strong and courageous. And we will not back down. We will always continue to fight for life. I'm signing HB 481 this morning to ensure that all Georgians have the opportunity to live, grow, learn, and prosper in our great state. Through the Life Act, we will allow precious babies to grow up and realize their full God-given potential. I want to thank Speaker Ralston, Lieutenant Governor Duncan, for their strong leadership at this state capitol and on this issue. I, like others before me, stand here to applaud Representative Ed Setzler and Senator Renee Unterman for a job well done crafting this piece of legislation and championing this noble cause. I want to also thank my floor leaders, Representative Terry Rogers, Jody Lott, Burt Reeves, Dominic LaRicchia, Senators Blake Tillery and Brian Strickland for their hard work in helping secure passage of the Life Act. And finally, I want to thank those behind me and to the side of me, those in front of me, those outside of these doors and throughout Georgia who refused to be silent on this issue, who rejected the status quo, who believe, as I do, that every baby has a right to life. But remember, today is just the beginning, folks. We have too many children that are stuck in foster care. The adoptions process, while we've made great strides in Georgia, we have more to do because it's still too expensive and too cumbersome for Georgia families. The elderly are being exploited and abused in communities throughout our state and our nation. and countless victims of human trafficking remain in the shadows. They deserve justice. That is why we must all continue to fight. We must protect life at all stages. We must remember our higher calling, and we must remember to work in the days, months, and years ahead, as we have done this year. Thank you all, and God bless you. I'm looking forward to signing House Bill 481, the Life Act.
We're going to take a few pictures in just a minute. All our media folks, if you want to head out there, we're going to start going through pictures.